when you talk of the term in utero, we'll come to that itself. In our specific context at this point of time, we're going to be addressing the duration of the time when the child is inside the womb, as also in some ways the time after that, that is after a child is born, and the time sometimes before the child even arrives into the womb. Okay, so it could be all three dimensions. However, much of it is going to be focused around the duration in and around the womb. Okay, so that's what we're going to focus on in these sessions. So those of you who have not heard this term, there's nothing to worry. You don't need to know anything. You don't need a background for this. And this is an open session. And we would just invite you to be here for and just be here both in body and mind. That's it. There's no other demand, no other ask at this point of time. That said, let's look at what journey we're going to embark upon. It's called a Gita, a Garbha Gita. The very term Gita will obviously resonate for a lot of Indians. And Larissa Ma, I know that she's more Indian than many of us. So although she's not from India, but she is very much a Bharatiya. So that said, see, the concept of Gita as something which is lyrical, which is musical, that which sounds harmonious, comes in automatically. What is it that goes along with harmony or along with music and rhythm, and how does it link up with Garbha? And as I already mentioned, Garbha itself could mean many things, including the uterus or the womb, or it could mean other things. So how do we integrate and see all of this? So we'll begin right at the top, addressing babies in utero. The first connotation we all have will always be in the context of pregnancy. Pregnancy or the duration of life which occurs in the course of the womb journey. So the duration itself and the things which go along with that have got significant connotations in many realities. Every day there is a changing paradigm in this space for people who may think that, it's all the same all the while. But let me assure you, there are many things which are changing in this field on a daily, if not on an hourly basis, because this is a very dynamic field. For instance, the very usage of the term, this looks very simplistic, but just to look at it. If you speak of pregnancy, obviously there are two things. First and foremost, people think of pregnancy as what do you think of it as? Usually a medical event, right? You will think of it as something where doctors are involved, hospital is involved, child is involved, childbirth is involved. All of that has to happen. And therefore, whom do you go to? You will typically go to a gynecologist for that. So that's where the origins seem to be misplaced, if at all, because gynecology does not deal with childbirth. It's obstetrics which deals with that. So the fact that we need to engage on a more significant, if not a serious note, with each of the terminologies which we are using comes to light from the very beginning, because this is a science of birth. This is a science of the womb. This is not of other problems or other diseases which a woman might encounter. Similarly, pregnancy is not a 9-month thing. Kitne mahine ka hai? 9 mahine ka pregnancy hota hai. This is a wrong usage of the term, because a full term of pregnancy is much more than 9 months. And if it's the 9 months plus some weeks, and totaling to about 40 odd weeks, if you don't reckon the full period, the baby becomes preterm. It's not a full term baby, but a preterm baby. So changing the nuance of language itself has become one of the changing paradigms in the world today. In fact, in pre and perinatal education circles, there's a significant emphasis that please let us not orchestrate, because we do believe even in those circles that there is a certain energy transformation and an energy transaction which happens with the usage of words. So there we are conscious and careful not to use the term 9 months in the context of pregnancy, but to say full term if not at least mentally imagine the period of 10 months so that you actually link up with a child in the context of a full term birth. Similarly, other terms have evolved. The paradigms have changed significantly. Like what? You have the reality of uh, biology, right? Biology has been one of the foundational sciences which has paved the way for a lot of knowledge to grow and a lot of benefits which have come about from that also through biology, modern medical sciences, a whole lot of other allied sciences. We've all benefited tremendously. How? You see the infant mortality rates, maternal mortality rates, and all of those. So the rates at which people used to die or morbidities used to occur have come down significantly courtesy these sciences. So we're very respectful towards them. So from being a mere offspring, how does an offspring, which is something which happens by rote in the whole of nature, how does it become enshrined with awareness enough to be called life? And that mass of cells converting into human life or becoming a being, a human being. And the language from being purely technical or medical, from embryo, fetus, endowed with life, how does it become a baby? And how does it become something of my own, where I can transact with that in flesh and blood, and of course, with all the emotions, with all the thoughts which I have about that child or that baby. And even in the world of pre and perinatal sciences, every time I use the term PPN, it is prenatal, perinatal. Combined together, they're put together as PPN. PPN sciences, they reckoned first that there is a silent growth period of what's happening inside the womb. The paradigm has changed significantly to bring in the context of sentience. The word mentioned there, sentience. We'll deal with that in the next few minutes. And spiritually again, from what was called as progressing through the uterus itself, how can you engage with it holistically? What is the holistic development, which includes the spiritual context, is something which we're going to consider here as well. And all the while, when we use the term spiritual here, we are not meaning, puja part or getting into chanting, meditations, nothing of that. Spirituality has a very evolved concept of a continuum of life itself, of how I, you, baby, every one of us are always engaged even in that realm. So it's the larger dimension of each and every one of us, which we mean when we speak of spirituality. It is not puja part and Bhagwan, and not to be left aside for an appropriate day after I retire, after my child comes of age, after my daughter gets married, after my grandchild gets settled. Not that. It is something which happens day in, day out in the course of everybody's life. So from those paradigms, new paradigms have emerged. The old ones have given way to the new. So what is in utero reading, or what is in utero communication? First and foremost, let me clarify. You'll keep seeing these terms coming in as in utero as two separate words, in utero as one word, and sometimes I with the capital and I without being in the lowercase. So you'll get it in all formats. Let me clarify to all of you, every time it comes in the slide, all of them mean the same. This is the entire connotation for the period when the baby is inside the womb. And the state of being an embryo or a fetus is what biologists call it. The science of biology alludes to this as the period when the child is there in that state as a fetus or an embryo. Now, this combined period, how does this measure up as in utero communication? This is where the difference comes. In utero communication is transfer of information. It is transfer of information with sounds. Sounds, and these are primary. Sight or seeing. Is this of parents? Is it of the child? Or is it of both? We'll examine these. And it also involves cognition, comprehension, understanding. So it's not just sound and sight without comprehension or understanding. So that also comes into it. So when we talk of in utero, we are talking in all these facets pertaining to the womb, the period in and around the womb journey, and also the communication which is happening constantly with sounds, with sight, and a meaning which is emerging out of it. All of this put together is what we're going to be talking of as in utero, be it communication and more focused on reading aspects.